My name is Violeta. Nice to meet you all. I'm the CCO and co-founder of MClimate, where we make any building smart. Essentially, the company started in 2015, where we started working on B2C market, smart home devices with Wi-Fi, and we covered 70 countries. And since the development of the LoRaWAN, we decided to move to more scalable businesses and move to the B2B market. So our installations are now in 26 countries with LoRaWAN in particular, and they cover 50% residential full buildings and 50% commercial, both private sector and public sector buildings like schools, hospitals, a lot of universities, and social housing in general, as this is one of the biggest spending for governments. We have covered 400 clients that have all different goals, but similar to Stefan and Jeff, sustainability is one of our main priorities and decarbonizing buildings. So energy efficiency in general is what we are focused on, and air quality combination with water leak detection. These are the three things we identified can make a building smart. I mean, there's many others, and every sensor manufacturer will tell you that you need their sensor in particular. But energy efficiency and control, not just sensing the data and not just monitoring, but also controlling, is what we do with the actuator Vicky and the H&T. We have the indoor quality, which is the CO2 sensor, and a few automation additions that you can automate opening doors, windows, as well as emergency button or a button that will allow you to build scenarios based on your preferences. In terms of the portfolio of buildings that we've covered, we're mostly focused in the EU. We started expanding to the US recently, and we have a few other frequencies that we're currently working on. But it's anything from hospital, schools, and social building to residential full blocks where we work with property management, similar to the multi-story buildings in the US, as well as shared office buildings and often office buildings for corporates. I think in the last years, the trend is that more corporates look at their own portfolio of real estate and try to optimize it. So we started working a lot with insurance companies and banks, which is a great trend for ESG developments, because the data they collect essentially can be used for ESG reporting, as Stefan mentioned. So it's a useful tool that you don't wait for the emissions to come first and then offset it with planting trees or green certificates purchasing. It's something you can do to prevent the energy use today and actually control it. So I think why customers choose us, and in general, it's mostly corporates, as I mentioned, public sector and residential managers, is because we save up to 35% of the energy, of course, depending on the heating season and the fluctuations in temperature over time. And we reduce the operating and maintenance costs because you get a platform. We can use either the BMS platform you have in place or a new platform that we provide to manage and maintain the schedules in the building. This helps people generate the data for ESG rating, produce reports, and actually calculate the carbon footprint that they have managed to reduce within 1 year. LoRaWAN is a great technology because it's scalable and it allows for 10 years of battery life. So that makes maintenance even more easier. And it allows for more customer interaction. In Jeff's case, it's really good use case where people actually can engage in responsible consumption or be in charge of their own electricity bill as a minimum. So here, I think we care about impact the most. And this is the impact we have in some countries and some use cases that I think are quite representative of how much can be achieved in the space in a very short period of time. So this is year on year. So essentially, the installation will take up to 2 days. There is no building works, no additional emissions. But what you get out of it is savings between 15 and 35%. That is tons of CO2 emissions per day. So even a small residential building in Finland emits over 40. It can save over 14 tons of CO2 for 1 year, which is around 200 trees that you should have planted from a seedling for 10 years to get to the same impact. So I really put this slide up because there is a lot of greenwashing going on in terms of corporates and other organizations caring about sustainability. But essentially, it's better to do something before it is there than to try and cover it afterwards. So it would be great to speak to both Jeff and Stefan and see where we see the meeting points on ESG and sustainability for buildings. Great. Thank you.